Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Our Life. I don't know how many videos I've made today, but I keep seeing things and thinking of things, and I'm like, oh...
Somebody a little hyperactive, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. So, somebody just... excuse me. I don't know if it's the weather or what, but I
think it's the weather.
So, anyway,
the drainage flowing.
One of my friends... Oh, my. That's so cute.
What?
Maggie's laying her head down on socks. You know, if y'all want to... Kind of hard to see, but Maggie's the big gray one. She's the mama cat, and Socks is one of her babies. They like it over there. Okay. One of my friends on Facebook lives in Hawaii.
Oh my.
And I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak Hawaiian, although my understanding is that it's actually not a difficult language to speak. Which is interesting, because I think most languages can be...
At least we'd have good weather in Hawaii.
True. So I wanted to tell you about my trips to Hawaii. Yes, I've been to Hawaii. It was a long time ago. I mean, understand, I lived in Texas for 40 years, and it was before that. But it was interesting, and it was beautiful. Now, understand, I was already living on a tropical or semi-tropical island, so there were things about Hawaii that were not a whole lot different than where I lived. But, I mean, when you've seen one sugarcane field, you've seen them all, so to speak. It's like when you've seen one cotton field, you've seen them all. Seen one cornfield, you've seen them all. But Hawaii was my first experience with the first world. Up to that point, I had always... Now, before living in Texas, Texas was my first experience truly living in the first world. But...
How long were you in Hawaii?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe a week or so.
Oh.
Yeah, we were
so
just...
it wasn't long term.
No. The reason we went to Hawaii, people, is because my sister and myself needed documents. My parents needed to get our documents to say we were Americans. Otherwise, we couldn't, you know, move to the United States, move to Texas. Now, my feeling is that Hawaii was pretty much stolen from the Hawaiians, but I won't get into that. But I had never seen a public bus before, a city bus.
Oh.
And they had, you know, they had the wires that you pull down on. And we're going down the road, and, you know, I see people pulling this wire, and I think I was with my mom, and I asked her, you know, what are people doing that for? And she said, well, that's to stop the bus. So I freak out. Next time I see somebody do that, I brace myself for that bus to come to a screeching halt. And it didn't. I didn't understand that it's to signal to the bus driver to stop at the next bus stop.
Not slam on the brakes.
Yeah, that kind of tells you how young I was. Hawaii was the first time I had ever seen a record store. I'd seen records, but not a record store. Oh my gosh. The building looked huge to me. There was row after row after row after row. There's Maggie.
Say meow.
Hey, Maggie.
Because I'm up and about.
Yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable. I didn't, you know, who would imagine there'd be so many records in this world? Well, you should see how many records we have. Yeah, we actually have LPs. M45s and 78s. I'm not sure that thing will play a 78, but it'll play 45s and LPs. I don't think we have any EPs, though. But anyway, yeah, I had records from Spain. My very first record was Cinderella. Cinderella for a little boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Anyway, so Hawaii. Oh gosh, I remember walking on the beach. The sand was beautiful. The ocean was beautiful. There was a was this Hawaii or Okinawa? I think it was Hawaii. There was this place where they had how do I describe them? It was like an underwater hotel. They were like big metal balls, and they had like an air pipe going to the surface, and the way you got into them is you had to scuba dive under there, and there was a hatch on the bottom, and you went in that way. They weren't real big, but you know, and I think people actually rented these long term or something. I don't think it was technically a hotel. There was a bookstore. It was the first time I had ever seen a bookstore. I had seen books before, but I'd never seen a bookstore. This bookstore, and up until the fire, I still had the books from the bookstore. It was like, I think, 2 floors, because the lower floor faced the beach, faced the ocean, and the upper floor was more on level with the road. And the lower floor, it was like open, the whole side. They could open the whole side up, and for those who remember the TV show Hawaii Five-0, the original Hawaii Five-0, while you're watching in the opening credits of the show, in the background you see a pink hotel. A pink hotel. Guess what? We stayed in that pink hotel. Yes, we did. More than once we stayed in that pink hotel. My parents actually owned some property in Hawaii. It was just like a little plot of land, and my mother sold it. It probably didn't belong to her to begin with. It probably belonged to my dad, because my dad was the investment guy. Back in Spain, my dad had investments with a friend of ours who owned hotels all over the country. And anyway, so I remember we went. I don't think there was a volcano erupting at the time, but we drove to where you look out toward the mountain, toward the volcano. It was just covered with dry or cooled off lava. Now today I would probably look at that and I would find beauty in it. At the time I was like, that's just rock. But when we were flying over Hawaii once, one of the volcanoes was erupting, or at least it was billowing smoke and ash. It wasn't. Well, I think it actually had
a little bit.
Yeah, I think there was some lava. I think there may have been lava coming down, but I didn't see the lava. Of course, I was in a plane up in the air. Senator Inouye was the guy whose office we had to go to, and my parents had to go to Pearl Harbor, or as a lot of people call it, Pearl. My parents got to go to the opening ceremony of Tora, and I used to have the little movie guide that they got when they went to it. Well, oh gosh, what else? I bet, as soon as I finish this video, I'm going to start remembering more things, but, I don't know, I mean, I liked Hawaii. See, I don't know if I should tell this story, because I don't remember if this was in Hawaii or Okinawa. I think it may have been Okinawa, but I'm not sure. There was a lighthouse, and what you could do is you could go down to the bottom of the sea, course, you're right on land, so it's not like you're going that deep. And they had these big, like, picture windows. And you know, I'm talking like 2 or 3 floors down, so you're not really that deep. And there had been this octopus hanging out, big octopus hanging out over by the you know, where you could see him out, you know, looking outside these windows. So we go down there, and guess what? He wasn't there. So
The octopus is out for the day.
yeah, and but you know, I had been on plenty of glass bottom, but I loved going on glass bottom boats. That was on Okinawa. I don't know if we went on any in Hawaii. I don't know if they had any. I used to have a little booklet. I had like one booklet on the royal family of Hawaii, and one booklet on the outrigger canoes. I love those outrigger canoes. They're so cool. But
When you get done, will you help me start? I'm going to print some of your stuff.
Okay. I guess that's all I can think of right now, so I'll just share this with you. Bye-bye.